Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with Blog to Watch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of two Omega Constellation watches. The Omega Constellation is a collection that's been around for a long time. It's something that we don't talk about that much, and we are happy to say that Omega is going to revisit the Constellation and update it for 2015 and beyond. But let's look at some of the existing models. These are both 38 millimeters wide, which for me is on the smaller side. For other people, it's perfect. The Constellation is not as popular here in America as other models, such as the Speedmaster or the Seamaster, but around the world, collections like the Constellation, especially the DeVille, are very, very popular, and that's in places such as Asia and Russia. This version of the Constellation is a product of the 1980s. The Constellation has been around for a long time, but in the early 80s, Omega released this version with this sort of angular case, integrated tapering bracelet, this sort of single link design. And for me, this is very much what the Constellation is all about, especially on the bracelet. You can see it's a thicker case, and it has this sort of signature, what they call claws, that I think were supposed to be reminiscent of water resistance or something like that. This version of the Constellation has a day-date complication. It contains the Omega in-house made caliber 8602 automatic movement. It's pretty nice. Again, I've always been a fan of Omega's in-house made movements. They look great, and this particular version, again, has that day date. So you have the date at the bottom there, and symmetrically at the top, you have the full day of the week spelled out. There's different color variations of the dial as well. It's legible. It's a little bit more of a retro look. On the wrist, I find the Constellation to be pretty comfortable. Again, size for me and my personal taste is a little bit smaller. At 38 millimeters wide, I would prefer a 40 or 42 millimeters wide, given this case shape, but I think this is going to be a good size for a lot of people. And again, this is a steel version. I like that little gold Omega logo there. Again, this is very retro, but I think it's done kind of in a cool way. I like those Arabic numerals around the bezel. It's just sort of a neat watch that, you know, is still very attractive today, but definitely has sort of that retro appeal to it. This other version has a different dial, which is actually a little bit more indicative of classic Constellation models. And this one is produced in Omega's Sedna Gold. So what is Sedna Gold? Sedna Gold is Omega's answer to Rolex's Everose. So Everose and Sedna Gold are versions of 18 karat rose gold that have colors that will not fade. Over time, rose gold, because of the depleting amounts of copper, I believe, or something like that, as it rubs away, changes color, and that's not good. So if you want a rose gold that will stay the same color for a long time, you need to go with something like a Rolex Everose or an Omega Sedna Gold. This one comes on a strap, and you can see there's a significantly different look, even though they're the same size. Again, because this is an 18 karat, rose gold or Sedna Gold, it's going to be significantly more expensive, but there is sort of a more classy, formal, dressy appeal to a watch like this. Omega has integrated the Sedna Gold into other things. I believe that this Constellation model is where they debuted Sedna Gold, so that's interesting. And inside of this watch is the in-house made caliber 8501. Same exact movement as the caliber 8500, but the 8501 has gold in it. So on the higher end models, you have this gold automatic rotor, as well as this gold bridge over the balance wheel. Interesting watch. I would love to see it on a bracelet. It would be extremely expensive, given the fact that the price for the Constellation with the Sedna Gold retails for $20,800. So that would be at least, I don't know, $40,000 or something like that on the bracelet. This version of the Constellation day date in steel retails for $8,300, so you can see there's a big difference there. There's a lot of different Constellation models out there. I think that this collection is a little bit more popular for women these days, but again, with Omega's revisitation of the collection, I expect that to change. You can see the full review of these Omega Constellation watches on a Blog to Watch. Thanks.